right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beyond the Summit. It's time for DK versus Vici Gaming Best of 5, the CDEC New Star Cup Grand Finals. I'm LD.
I'm Gods, and we have not been casting together for a while, LD.
Yeah. Give it up. High five.
Let's go. Let's do this.
The Davids are back in action, boys. We've been caffeinated. We've been well rested. And
hey, I'm on the health kick. Healthy smoothies. This is
you hit some tea earlier.
Fruity. Some pineapple oolong tea.
I dumped a packet of speed in there just to hype you up a bit. All right, let's do it, guys. It's DK versus Newbie, game 1.
This game doesn't need any hyping up. Like, I don't like. You give me some snooze fest Dota maybe, but for DK versus Newbie, hell's no.
Hopefully, no snoozers, please. Well, these are not snoozy heroes though. We get a lot of team fight, a lot of early game, mid game aggression potentially.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the picks and bans are changing, such that teams are kind of just trading the quote-unquote like OP-ish heroes and just banning out stuff they don't want to deal with. Like you have Newbie banning out Burning's Naga Siren, the ban on the MMY support Mirana, and this leaves the pool wide open. So Batrider and Doom both left in the pool. Newbie get kind of stuck with a big decision which to grab, and they get Batrider out of the exchange. And if they want to, they can grab the Tide here as well, which has become quite popular. But
yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There is a Doom, and he's probably the best hero to deal with Tide. Can't crack it off Doom.
Problem is Tide and Batrider are both offliners, so I don't think they're grabbing Tide just.
We don't see many teams run the Bat mid. You can, and he does fine in certain matchups, especially. It would be a Radiant Bat mid who can take the advantage of the jungle more, but yeah, most of the time it is going to just be the offlane bat, and Newbie will grab a Rubik instead. So it's an annoying hero for Enigma. If the game does go a bit later, he's got to think about buying something like a Lincoln Sphere or just being very careful to catch Rubik and Black Hole, and that just complicates your late game decision making quite a bit.
Yeah, Doom as well. So already good spells to be stolen here for Newbie. And Sansheng, I questioned his Rubik one day, and then he showed up and stole every ultimate in the game.
He has actually. Sangshan was like a solid mid-level support, I would say, in the Chinese scene. Normally he'd be one of the weaker members on teams like Tongfu, these top Chinese teams. But I feel like he's legitimately stepped up his game and is playing close to the level of the big name Chinese supports like Lanham, MMY, FY. I wouldn't say he's quite as flashy, but he's one of the most improved players, I would say.
I saw him start a fight with Ice Blast, he stole Ravage in the fight, and then stole Black Hole at the end of the fight, all in one team fight. So, and during the draft I was saying, oh, well, it's not like it's FY and Rubik, he's not going to steal these big spells, and boy, did he prove me wrong, so I don't want to question him this time around, so.
What a player.
Sansheng, he has what it takes to be up there with other top Rubik players as well if he wants to be. As for DK, nothing crazy with their draft. Doom will most likely be in the offlane, although some teams every now and then do run it as a safe lane farmer, including DK themselves ran Burning on it once, although that was a game they actually lost, so they probably won't be looking back to that game. It is Burning drafting. Sometimes Lamb, sometimes Burning, sometimes even Ice in the drafting sequence.
Yeah, I feel like the longer the patch is out, almost the less it matters who's been drafting, because Burning is a little bit more conservative, and so early in a patch he may be sticking to the old ways, but 6.81/A1B have been out for some time now, and this is kind of your established Chinese meta. Heroes like Doom, Enigma, Bat taking prominence. Like you mentioned, normally trying to trade them, and just maybe do one kind of respect type ban, so. Well, Void, he's one of the popular offlaners here, and can be played as a safe lane farmer for Hao, and DK will ban it. They actually go for the Razor. DK have been preferring this a bit more. Now, the way I saw them use it yesterday was I would call it basically the Doom counter, because if you get static link off and your ultimate before you get Doom, they persist through it, and Razor normally builds tanky, so dooming him is not really ideal, but, well, in this case, it's not really the Doom counter. They're just going to snap it up for their purposes, and he's a bit of a siege engine. He's kind of like a lesser version of Tiny and similar to a Lone Druid in the mid game, where if you get the Ags, maybe the Refresher, you just pop the ults and you force your opponents to react to you.
Yeah, his tankiness is really his forte, and he's good against Batrider because you blink him with a lasso, and the insta-purge and slow is really just annoying and painful to deal with in general. So we'll see how things pan out here. Newbie have gone for a Luna for House, so we're seeing less and less of these hard carries being picked up in general, but Luna obviously has the ability to fight in the early to mid game, and Newbie, more often than other teams, are picking how at least aggressive carries, be it the Luna, the Gyrocopter, these hard carries that scale great late game, but also fight really well as soon as they hit their level 6s.
Yeah, both teams are run AM here and there as well as a pocket pick, and I'm honestly a little surprised to see the Luna. I'm curious to see what Newbie looked to do with it. Generally, her forte is just pushing the safe lane towers early. But Enchantress has been banned. Rubik's not the best pusher, and well, we'll see what Newbie looked to do with the Luna pick. But so far, it seems slightly out of place, I would say.
Yeah, it's almost like going back to your 6.8 kind of drafts here with the carry, the strong tri lane, Rubik, Luna. I imagine it may even just be a normal kind of support duo here. I don't think they want to pick something up like a Chen or whatever. I don't think it's a very useful hero this game. So I think they're going to go for a support duo, which is just going to be able to roam around, get lots of kills, and completely zone out Doom. I think that's one of the things with DK, well, in Doom in generally offlane, is that he can be completely zoned out, prevented coming in the jungle. And a Rubik Luna with some kind of follow-up stun, like your Leshrac Lena type hero, or Ancient Apparition's a great one as well. I think that's probably one of the better options to go for here. Can completely zone out Doom.
That's a good point. The other thing is Doom can't really stop the push. So I think that's what Newbie's looking at, is DK are being greedy. They're trying to run a jungle Enigma. They want to run an offlane Doom, and we should punish that by pushing the safe lane early on. So now DK go for Revenge. They get a very potent roamer, and also I think the main thing here is just the Roche potential for DK. They have Eidolons, they have Venjara, the Howl, potentially Doom getting some good auras. Newbie, if they don't take those towers early, are going to be under a lot of pressure to contest this Roche.
Yeah. And on top of that, normally when they give away Batrider, they're picking up Shadow Demon as a support to deal with the Batrider. Whoever gets lassoed, you disrupt, and Shadow Demon was banned out. So Vengeful Spirit with the swap can kind of act as the lasso counter himself.
Yeah, it's kind of it fills pretty much every niche. It also, I guess, protects the Enigma, though I don't think Newbie would have gone for Rubik Venge anyway. But yeah, let's see what Newbie do from here. So far, I'm really liking DK's draft. I am curious to see how the lanes go, and Newbie go into an Earthshaker pick. Something that he's fallen off in popularity quite a bit since you could do all the fissure blocking shenanigans. You can still use the fissure block to like pull back your lanes a bit, but you can't divert the creeps the same way. And I think FY is the player I've seen play the most Earthshaker in the Chinese scene. He just likes to like stack the jungle, just kind of roam around wherever he's needed, but doesn't really have like a very aggressive style with it. So yeah, this is a very easy first blood if they get a fissure block on the Doom, though. I guess that's the other thing to mention.
Yeah. Not the most, I mean, in the lane it's good for zoning out Doom, but if it's like the two supports battling Doom, when he tries to, often you see the Diadoom try go into the Radiant jungle to devour the big camp, it's a lot harder for a Rubik ES to stop him doing that, because ES being melee, you can't really use that fissure too well in the jungle, compared to a Rubik AA who can completely zone him out. But they pick up the ES just for the added teamfight element, and fissure can just offer a lot more. And it's also the Vengeful Spirit and the way that DK or most teams are playing this Enigma, going for early smoke ganks and trying to get pickoffs, it protects your mid hero very nicely. So we'll see what mid hero Newbie like to get. Moo's been playing a lot of Templar Assassin, is probably his most played hero, which is still in the pool, although whether that fits this draft or not, we'll have to see.
Yeah, they definitely need a semi-carry damage dealing type of mid. There's Shadow Fiend as well, someone who hasn't been very popular lately, but I think synergizes reasonably well with the rest of the team, especially if Rubik can steal something like Black Hole or even any sort of lockdown to go with the ES. So they need a semi-carry. I guess Storm, TA, Shadow Fiend are the main ones that remain. Is there anything else that could really go mid and fill that niche? Trying to think.
I mean, you're kind of Puck-like heroes as well. Like, Puck kind of fits the same roles as Batrider, so
yeah,
I think that's
they already have ES Rubik, so they're pretty heavy on disable.
TA's
Quap, I guess, but I don't.
Oh yeah,
Quap's
kind of good.
I don't think it's a Newbie hero. We haven't. Has Moo played it recently? Mushi's the main one who's been playing a lot of Quap.
Yeah, I haven't seen Moo play much Quap.
I think, like you said, TA's fairly likely as an option.
It's not like the best against Razor with the static link or Doom, but it's still good. I mean, whatever kind of right-click carry you pick is potentially bad against Razor. So
they can be greedy though. They could go something like Shadow Fiend, and the main reason is like this Venge Enigma aren't going to be doing too much to bat early. They might skank the lane a bit later, smoke and go for him, but he should be able to get his first few levels in the off lane. So I don't think Bat needs the jungle quite as early as
the other thing is, I don't think Newbie are going to commit to any. Like, they're probably waiting to see what DK picks. So they see Puck, they'll be expecting the Puck mid and burning Razor safe lane. So yeah, TA as far as the laning stage is concerned is great against Puck.
There's also Dragonite who matches up quite well against Puck. But
you're just we need a mid hero that just is a mid hero. That's your DK.
That's where DK maybe put Razor mid instead, though. I guess that's always an X factor they could throw Newbie's way.
Yeah, you can put Doom safe lane, Puck off lane. There is some versatility with these lanes and drafts for DK. They can't really... I mean, they could do a dual lane in the offlane if they're expecting a non-tri lane, but with Rubik, ES Luna there, they don't really have much ability to contest that lane.
Well, guys, if you're just joining us, it's game 1 of a best-of-5 DK versus Newbie, the grand finals of the CDEC New Star Cup. These two teams played 3 best-of-3s a few days ago, all in one day, and the end score was 4-4, but Newbie took 2 of the 3 sets, so Newbie come in perhaps as slight favorites. I didn't actually check the Dota 2 lounge odds, but might as well do that now, as we see a Viper come out.
That's a good pick. I forgot about Viper. Newbie run a lot of Viper too. They're probably the Chinese
51-49, so very, very even odds. I think that's fair. I think this is a very even series.
Yes. Yeah, like it's one of those things I'd say it's very even, and you said I had to pick who I think's got the edge. I would say Newbie by the smallest of margins, which Dota 2 Lounge agrees with. So.
Well, then you must be right. If Dota 2 Lounge agrees with you, then you're clearly onto something here, buddy.
Ever so smart Russian bettors over at Dota 2 Lounge. They know all.
It's always funny when Navi's playing. Like, it doesn't matter if they're slumping. They'll have, they'll have like 20% more odds than they probably should in some matches, and the Russians lose their rares. To be fair, everybody, it's just like the snowball effect of teams that are favorites. But yeah, this is going to be a close one. It is going to be a move Viper, so looking to see the Viper mid, and frankly, whoever goes mid, he'll match up well again, be it the Razor or the Puck. So I do like this pick, and it gives them a tanky hero. Again, this is kind of like how Razor matches up against Doom, as I was mentioning DK did yesterday. Like, you don't really want to Doom a Viper. He's going to be tanky, and he's just not the ideal target. So, but it's also a hero you don't want to ignore if he gets farmed.
Yeah.
So I think Viper is a good choice against this Doom.
Yeah, I think it was one of the heroes I didn't even consider, but I think I like it so much more than everything else we were kind of speculating with and spitballing around. So it's a good pick. Newbie are very familiar with the hero. I think they pick it more than any Chinese team. LGD play quite a bit of Viper as well, but they run a lot of Viper and have had great success with the hero. So it's something they haven't been picking up as much recently, but it was during the Mazda 2 League where they were running it almost every game and just crushing teams left, right, and center. But Paul's coming out quickly for DK, so we'll have both teams getting to think about these lanes just that little bit before we get things underway.
Well, we'll introduce the teams while we wait, guys. It's game 1. Newbie going to be on the Radiant side for this one. Shao8 as the Bat Rider. Hal going to be playing the Luna. A hero that's really fallen off in popularity as of late. Sangsheng on the Earthshaker. Mu, the Viper. Banana, the Rubik. And that does leave... Who am I missing here? Did I get everyone?
Did you get Zhao Wei?
Oh, and yeah, I got Shao8 first on the offlane bat.
Oh, so. I think it was everyone.
All right. Well, I didn't get my coffee. That much is clear. Yeah. On the dire side, we've got Team DK. Ice is the offlane. Doom, Burning, the Razor. Starting with the boots. It'll be annoying to try and dodge his static link. MMY, Momoya on the Venge. Mushi, your solo mid Puck, and that does leave Lanham in the jungle, saving for some sentries if needed as the Enigma.
Well, Newbie already drawing lines on the map, which suggests their early game plan. They want to get into the enemy jungle, block the Enigma's camps like you often see, especially Enigma very big camp dependent because you can farm it so fast and get really power leveled. So they want to go and try contest it. But the normal way where you go up like just straight up the ramp normally, teams are starting to scout out. And if you've got a weaker level 1 team fight, sometimes you can't actually do that because DK will deny that. So they'll take a different route. And also it gives you the high ground advantage should a fight break out.
In this case, I guess it's not going to matter because it looks like DK are going aggressive in their own right. They may want to ward off some camps for the Bat Rider potentially to be farming, or just do a standard pull block. We'll see. But Burning is heading bottom with MMY and Ice. So curious to see how DK lanes this. I mean, you would expect them to go defensive tri-lane with running the Enigma, but if they're expecting their jungle to be warded, maybe they try and think one step ahead of Newbie here, who are smoked up, are making their way up the river, and like you mentioned, we'll take the less expected route nowadays. The standard way used to be this way, but yeah. It's been a long time since teams preferred that.
Yeah, well, now that teams have to block jungle camps, not just the pull, it seems they want to go this. And this is also good because this could catch... If DK were sitting on that hill, it could catch him by surprise, and you look at Newbie picking up a first blood with this route. I think they're actually hoping to not only block camps, but maybe find a kill. How going to lead the charge with Sancheng? They're not going to find anyone there, but they were hoping that maybe there'd be a free kill for them waiting.
Well, the smoke is going to wear off now, and Newbie will retreat out, and they've blocked the standard big camp, and looks like the pole camp blocked as well. They also get a nice observer ward just in the jungle, so the Enigma's position will be pretty obvious. If they don't see him in their own jungle, the only place he could be where they wouldn't really have vision is here. Yeah. DK... This camp is just pointless to farm because Bat Rider will be leeching the experience anyway.
DK should know exactly what Newbie just did because they went all the way through the enemy jungle, put down a ward blocking the Bat Rider's kind of big camp on the far left, and the fact they saw no one in that entire time means Newbie were in their own neutral. So they're expecting these their neutrals to be blocked off. Problem is right now Enigma only has the single sentry ward, which is going to make dewarding quite tricky because you generally need 2.
Ice is trying to be cute. He wanted to. Looks like he wanted to pull the wave back, but Hao and Songsheng were both there, so he won't find the opening.
Banana should try block this big camp so Ice can't get the Devour up. It looks like he's actually Ice
manually blocking it.
That's weird. Normally, like Ice should look to devour that normally.
Maybe they just want to slow down the stacks for the Bat Rider.
Yeah.
But still, like, you could just devour it and then...
You leave the 2 small creeps
Yeah, you
left.
leave the crappy creeps and he's getting nothing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, top lane, Xiao 8 is not having a good time, and he'll continue to not have a good time as this lane develops.
Yeah, the boots first for burning, and he doesn't mind missing a creep or 2 if it means getting bonus damage and just controlling the lane.
So, Lanham's doing the EG thing, where you just dual lane the Enigma and just stick and deny creeps from the side lane and just look to, I guess, farm Ancients with them. Huh.
Very tricky to farm Ancients. You're getting maybe 1 hero there. He's microed them pretty well so far. And he'll lose most of these in the end. So he gets 62 gold out of that, not too much. Importantly, Newbie did get 1 successful D-ward off on DK's wards, although DK do still have Rune Vision anyways.
Yeah, the big camp will finally spawn, and, well, Lanham, he's almost hit level 2 here, but his mana pool's running pretty low. 2 clarities remaining. In the meantime, Ice, just chilling mid. He's hit level 2 in his own right. Songsheng using Fissure to, looks like, to help farm the creeps, and... Well, he's going to get quite a bit of experience denied here as Banana makes his way up the hill, wants to leech this Ancient experience, and let's see if he's going to get anything. Nothing's too low right now.
Yep. Well, looks like he's not... You can't actually leech Ancient's experience. It's only normal neutral.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure. Oh, he steals the last hit for it. That's pretty nice.
Now he's got the experience, that's for sure. But Banana, lifting up Ice, will toss him back.
Oh, that was a great lift. Ice with boots. If that lift doesn't get him onto the high ground there, that's going to be first blood against Newbie.
Yeah, that's frustrating, I guess, for this dual lane.
Yeah.
They're really trying to slow down the Luna, and well, let's see how Hao's doing. He's still 11-3. He's actually still the lead farmer this game, despite the denies in the lane and just the best efforts of DK to pull the lane back against him.
There we go. Ice gets a big creep there. He takes the tornado creep. Gives him actually some armor. It's not the worst creep to be finding right now. Means he can just tank the harass a little bit better. The idea of the Enigma being here is farming very slowly, Lamb. Like, he's not even level 2, but they're trying to pull the wave back for Doom, because Doom against the Trylane can get zoned out completely, so they're like, okay, well, to prevent him getting zoned out, we'll have Enigma here to continually deny creeps, not just get the first deny off. They want to pull the wave all the way back, and it hasn't worked too well because Newbie have just used successful double pulls over on the pull camps to kind of negate the Enigma deny. So sure, Hao's getting slightly less farm, but that's not really a bigger deal. It's not. They're not so much trying to deny farm as pull the wave back for Ice to get farm and levels himself, which hasn't really been that successful.
Yeah, he's hit level 3, but meanwhile, actually Xiao 8 is the one struggling a bit. He's only level 1, and his one big camp's been blocked. They have been stacking this camp, but Ice ate the Wildkin, so this Bat Rider's going to be slowed down quite a bit.
This is a dual lane against the Bat Rider. That's the crazy thing about this, is you'd expect the off-lane who's against the dual lane to do a lot better than the off-lane who's against the tri-lane, and by no means is that the case. And I think the Enigma isn't even that much to credit for it. I think it's just Doom just being such an annoying to deal with hero with boots first, and now he gets a Centaur as well, so 2 Devours on big creeps gives Ice level 3.5, as well as almost enough money for Tranquil boots.
Yeah, and the Enigma, he's been slowed down a bit, but can just go back to the jungle and look to catch up. And if your offlaner's getting more, then you've just got to be happy with that trade overall. You look at the supports of Newbie, and only a level 1 Rubik. He's not getting that much out of the wood. Songsheng level 3, so he's doing okay, but if they just go back to the jungle at that point, you go into the mid game. You've got a Doom Enigma getting farm versus a Bat Rider just playing catch up and a Rubik ES who won't be able to keep up in terms of farm and levels.
Well, as far as the other lanes, and the one lane we haven't looked at mid, Moo's doing really well with the last hits. 19 CS, 12 denies to Mushi's 12 and 7, so a bit of edge going the Viper's way. It's not an easy matchup for Puck by any means, but I think Moose is playing it maybe slightly better than the expected result on CS there.
Yeah, he's leveled up the corrosive skin, so Mushi just is not going to have any ability to trade in this lane.
Yeah, it's a lot. So much comes down to the creep block there. If you're against a Viper and here's the high ground advantage, you can get zoned out and outlast hit. But if it's on your heal, it's kind of a lot more even with the CS.
Yeah, I'd say if you get the better block, it's still pretty. It's okay for the Viper, but if you get blocked, then
yeah.
If he outblocks you, then you're in a lot of trouble.
Puck can just. I think that's what happened, because I can see now it's on Viper's hill and he just pushes forward, zones Mushi out of the lane.
Yeah, he's also at level 6. You can phase shift the ultimate, so not the biggest worry, but the timing is a little bit tricky.
Yeah, he's going to try bait out the phase shift, but...
Yeah, if he does that, he can... And if the orb's there, maybe Mushi makes his way out, but he may just tick down to the poison.
Well, support's going to make their way mid. Fissure can guarantee a Viper Strike, and that's probably the death of Mushi if that does happen. Sansheng doesn't even have to go around if he doesn't want to. Nighttime vision makes this very tricky for Mushi, but Mu doesn't have high ground vision. You don't have that observer ward, so it makes it not exactly an easy kill.
No, Mushi is... Mu's just camping on his hill, and looks like they'll opt to skip him. They'll go for Lanham in the jungle, who...
They saw this, though, the observer ward, so...
is level 3, but yeah, he'll make his way back down to the base.
This not only, I mean, keeps your Enigma safe, but it also means Mushi knows exactly what's nearby, so there's no way Mushi should die unless he makes a big misplay here.
So, bottom lane still going very well for the Luna, as you mentioned earlier. She's actually still the leader in farm. And the Bat Rider's the one who's struggling. Top lane, they start to steal damage. They'll stun him up now. Can they bring Xiaowei down? It's only a level 2 Plasma Field. They need at least 2 more right clicks. Plasma Field just short. He's down to 10 HP.
So close.
But he will end up surviving.
Yeah. So Newbie, yeah, luckily not giving out first blood there. The supports are still rotating around, getting scattered, doing this, and this is one of those things where the dewarding worked against them, because they dewarded the ward at bottom, which was a rune ward. So they're thinking, there's no way DK have 2 rune wards. Normally you use like 1 on a rune and 1 to protect the offlaner somewhere in the trees in the jungle. But it's at this top river, and that's caught him by surprise. Mid lane, they are going to go in, and the Viper Strike landing. Mushi has an orb out, but poison damage.
Is he going to tick down to the poison? He's dropping low, but barely lives through it. The bottle now comes, and just a ton of wasted time. Newbie has wasted a solid 2-3 minutes going for this kill mid.
Yeah. Both teams cutting it very fine going for the first bloods, and Xiaowei as well as Mushi barely scraping away. Xiaowei getting dived again, and
he's got the high ground here, so he can Firefly out, but he is continuing to struggle, and this is where they could have been stacking the jungle for him more. You look at the Bat's jungle situation, it's not good, gods. He's got a single Dark Troll Warlord. He's just completed his Tranquil Boots, and there's not even a single proper stack in the jungle. Ice has eaten every single big creep here, and this Bat Blink is going to be quite delayed. Yeah. It's already 7 minutes in, and he's got 2,000 gold to farm.
Well, it is Midas o'clock for Hao and the Luna, but this is kind of the expected time for this Midas. You got the boots and Bassering first, and
my main concern is it's only Bat who can really move around the map and set up kills. ES is not too bad with Fissure, but we see Mushi phase shifting mid and just trying to deal with Moose harassment. But it's really Xiaowei who's the tempo controller.
That is so clever from Mushi. If there's Viper Strike there, he dies. It was 10 seconds away, and I'm pretty sure Mushi knows the exact timing of that Viper Strike coming back, because phase shifting in front of a Viper is normally suicide, but 5 seconds before it comes online, and he's happy to use it.
Yeah, he still has the orb to retreat out, but yeah, it's just a frustrating matchup for him in spite of all that. He's 22-9. Viper nearly doubling his farm, and Mushi
not getting lucky with the
struggle. Yeah, this is not helping either. Hasted Hao's going to wrap around, and, well, our DK ready for this. No black hole available. This could be our first blood. Dire Sight does not have vision of this bottom rune. Oh, he breaks the smoke.
He can just solo kill MMY.
He could go in now. He's going to pop the Eclipse. It hits MMY. Then it splashes onto Ice. Not the best Eclipse. Is it going to be enough? MMY. Focus lifted up. Tossed back down. And in a matter of seconds, 3 heroes fallen.
Oh, Mushi TP'd in and got first blood for his team. That was a disaster there.
What an unfortunate Eclipse. Oh. The first beam, I think, missed. The second beam hit the Venge. And then the one beam hit the Doom. And then that was it.
If he realized it was the Venge who broke his smoke, not the Doom, he could have just straight up eclipsed and killed the Venge there. He was in a great position to punish those 2 supports, but he ran into the tower where the Doom was, and that was right where Puck was TPing into as well, so unlucky and just a bit of a weird engagement, but DK had the Puck ready to rotate and come out on top.
Well, so much for winning mid lane. Although, that being said, Mu has a 9-minute back.
The Pucks, yeah, the CS difference. I guess they're about even on net worth with the first blood gold. Actually, Viper's still 600 ahead, so even with first blood gold, Mushi well behind on farm.
Well, Newbie want to take advantage of this very fast mech. Looks like they're going to group up bottom lane. They don't have Eclipse now, but with the mech advantage, DK may just trade. I imagine we may just see them go for the top tower instead, and already they rotate 3 in, and well, there's no Dream Coil available. There's no Blink on Mushi just yet, despite getting the double kill.
Yeah, Newbie going to just... it looked like they're going to 4-man push. Banana's going to actually TP mid, so try and get his level 6 there, while the fact that Viper's bottom with Luna, they can't both farm, so they want to push a tower, but with only 3 heroes, DK could theoretically defend, but they seem to be committing top.
Yeah, there's Glyph available for the Dire side and for the Radiant, so both teams going for the trade, and I like this decision by DK right now, because they know they're not really that strong yet against the mech, and rather than try and force a difficult fight, Just let Batrider stall as best he can and take the safe trade.
Yeah, Burning's mech was 10 gold away. Maybe if Burning had mech, they try and fight, but getting that mech faster than your opponents always gives you such an edge in those early fights.
He actually has the gold for now, but still has to be delivered, and the courier is actually going mid, so it'll be at least so before he can get his hands on it.
Yeah. It's a bit annoying for DK. I think Newbie can get a slight edge with how the last minute just panned out. Getting a tier 1 tower, protecting their top tower with the Firefly as well, so they'll leave Earthshaker up there. Unfortunately, Zhao Wei does need to get his blink eventually, but he's still sitting on 1,200 gold. The fact he just hasn't died means he'll still get blink at least around 15 minutes or possibly earlier now that he can go into the neutrals as well.
It's pretty late, but considering how badly he got shut down in the offlane, it's, like you said, the key thing, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. DK still coming to this top lane, and the mech having not arrived means maybe Newbie will think about contesting this with the Viper TP in.
Well, they can try to fight against it. Earthshaker is sitting in position with a fissure ready. He'll just spam it now and hope that it cools down one more time to defend against this push. Still the glyph online for Newbie. Eclipse is cooled down, and, well, Bat's farming the jungle, so he won't be joining this one. If they want to fight, it will be without his support, and looks like I think they're going to let it fall, but they're
going
just
to
stalling
TP in when the fissure comes up, and
maybe not. Here comes Moo. He's going to pop the ultimate immediately. The mech's ready. They've black hold for this, but Moo's too tanky. He's got mech. He's got stick charges.
Lamb.
That's a sacrificial lamb indeed.
It's
well
probably
played,
worth
sir.
saving Burning, but it is a black hole cooldown. Not that black hole in the first 15 minutes of the game, not really that important of a spell until later on, but still really well played by Newbie there. Smart. They waited to TP, not so much for the glyph, but it was the fissure on cooldown. If you TP and you don't have fissure, that does not work out well, but the fissure trapped all 3 heroes in place underneath the tower with the TP and Newbie heroes.
Really well played by Songsheng. Normally you'll just see a player hold on to it, but he threw out the fissure when they were all the way back here so that it would cool down in time to use it again. So, nicely done by him.
Yeah, well.
Now they get treads up on Moo. That black hole against Moo just... It was laughable how little damage it did, really, and, you know, even if they had been wailing on him with all 3, I don't think they bring him below half HP.
Yeah, and then you proc the corrosive skin, and Enigma gets dropped down to like 250 movement speed, and it's all over. Zhao Wei at mid with a haste rune. Doesn't get the lasso off because of Waning Rift, and now TP's come in as well.
They're going to use the fissure here to set up some auto attacks on Mushi, and now he's in trouble. He's got a blink dagger. He can't use it.
Good
Gets lassoed, and down he goes. Newbie firing on all cylinders. Despite giving up the 2-for-1 first blood to DK, they are now taking tower after tower. Burning did find a... Well, actually the tower got denied top, I guess, but it has gone down, and Burning continues to apply pressure. Still, though, Newbie taking 2 towers unopposed, and DK getting the one they took denied.
Newbie have just been playing this early game really well, and their 5-man is just better than the DK 5-man. Like, Viper is just... I mean, king of early to mid, like 10 to 15-minute 5-man Dota, Viper is just one of the most annoying, scary heroes to deal with when you have mech plus max corrosive skin. And he'll have a point booster now if he wants to buy it, or possibly an Ogre Club, and that just makes him unkillable to some extent. Razor is not bad with the 5-man, but just gets blown up by the magic damage nuke, which Newbie have plenty of.
Yeah, I really like Newbie fighting now, because in about 8 minutes, the next 5 to 8 minutes, it gets a lot harder. Ice went for the early Midas, but now picks up his treads. He's got level 8, so he starts to hit harder. Mushi just got his blink. He'll have it ready for the next fight, and Enigma will be pretty much completing his BKB if he doesn't die again, or before that 20-minute mark. So it's a good time for Newbie to take objectives now, but it does get harder for them soon, and that's where pushing the advantage while they have it is key.
Yeah, I feel like DK got set back a bit by having Lamb start off in that off lane, like trying to be cute with the Ancients denying experience. He would be a lot more farm right now if he'd just gone straight into the jungle, even with a couple of those camps blocked. He could have still have had a couple big camps to farm. But DK realized this blink timing of theirs is pretty important. They don't want to try and group up, take a 5-on-5 teamfight, but finding a pick-off now would be pretty nice, even if it is just someone like a Rubik bottom, because Newbie aren't in a good position to defend this bottom tower yet.
Banana almost broke the smoke there. He's just a little bit short on it, though, and DK are still looking. They haven't actually gotten vision of him just yet.
Newbie smoked himself, though. And
now comes the wraparound. He's stolen something here. It's the Devour, and they're going to go into Banana. They're committing heavily for the Rubik, though, and from the backside comes Xiao 8. The lasso canceled quickly, but Eclipse still plows through, brings down 2 with the help of Moo. Reinforcements have arrived, and DK in a headlong retreat. Ice trying to beat a hasty path back to the well. Unfortunately, he'll be flame break back in, then slowed down by the Viper, and Ice also going down here. That's going to be a 3-for-0 exchange. Even the Rubik ends up living, and now he can just spam that level 4 Devour to his heart's content. Really nice counter initiation by Newbie.
What started off as a really close game is quickly taking a turn for the ugly. Not that Newbie are just snowballing yet, but they have the potential to. With Batrider's Blink Dagger up now, Luna is doing fantastic, level 10, and will have a BKB probably in the next 5 minutes if things continue at this pace, and not to mention a very fast level 11, which is, for the 5-man Dota where you want to take down teamfights, having that level 2 Eclipse makes a big difference as well.
Mushi's trying to be cute here. He wants to leech a few neutrals. Xiao8 doesn't have lasso, though. And well, he'll actually zip his way in and get picked off. He didn't expect Newbie to have 5.
He orbed, like, once he orbed down, he was really kind of stuck, because Bat can just blink after you. Even without lasso, he just slows you with a napalm, and you've got Lucent Beam, so...
That's a move that's going to have 71 barking in Mushi's ear. I can tell you that right now, but... He wanted to just kind of leech the golden experience, and...
He didn't even have vision, I'm not...
Yeah, they had no vision.
Just, like, blindly going in there.
It was one of those, like, there's probably only 2 heroes here. They can't all be 5 in the jungle, right? But,
yeah.
Well, he pays.
And Viper farms up Eidolons mid. Eidolons give a ton of money as well, considering how squishy and easy to kill they are compared to something like Treants. So you don't want to be giving too much gold away. As Viper, he's 2-0-3. He's got 90 CS. He's going to have an Ag Scepter in no time at all. He's top of the net worth. Hal not far behind him. And those 2 heroes well ahead of Razor, Doom, and Co on the DK side.
Well, game 1 is looking very solid for Newbie. They have plenty of late game here with the Bat Rider to initiate, the Earthshaker, Blink Dagger not too far off, and obviously Viper not the strongest late game hero, but he's very solid, and against Doom matches up well. The Luna's getting very fat. Newbie in fantastic shape. They can steal Black Hole, Doom, lots of good spells for Rubik to snag. DK can't just sit back. They've got to find trades, openings, and so far it's just been Newbie taking the better engagements pretty much every time.
DK are going to get this tier 1 middle tower, which will be undefended. There was a glyph there, Banana TP'd the tier 2, but it wasn't really a very easy spot to defend, and Newbie take a tier 1 top in exchange. So there's the kind of trades you're talking about, which DK are getting in. One other thing with DK that impresses me more than other teams, to me, they're the best high ground defending team out there. Like, I've seen them be behind by huge margins, but they defend the high ground and stall their opponents pushing tier 3s and Raxes so much that they somehow claw their way back into games. And even with Newbie's late game being good, DK still have Doom Enigma, and Razor not exactly the best ultra late game hero, but Doom Enigma are some of those ultis which just can single-handedly win you late game fights.
Yeah, honestly, if it goes late enough, you have Doom, you get the Refresher Shivas. It's a 5v3 fight. Like, how can you lose that? It's very difficult if it gets that late, but I think, again, Viper matches up quite well against Doom, so...
And Batrider is how you lose that. Your Doom gets Blink lassoed and dies without using a single Doom, and then it's, well, 5v4 the other way.
Or he just Dooms like some random guy. Speaking of which, Mushi caught out again, and now fissured. He can't phase shift, and he'll easily fall here to the wrath of Xiao8. The director once again finding the picks, and gods, I gotta say, this has not been Mushi's game. The matchup wasn't the best mid, but these 2 deaths, especially the one before this, are quite questionable.
This is Mushi's Puck too, one of his more well-known heroes, but not having too much fun there.
The Viper last pick was really solid. It just feels like it matches up well against Doom. It's a good 1v1 against Puck, and it just suited them well. They needed kind of a frontline tanker. They didn't really have it, and on all counts, the pick's been fantastic for them.
It was the perfect option. I mean, DK last banned the Brewmaster, and I think Brewmaster could have fit a similar role to the Viper, but would not have dominated the mid lane as much. He does help you with your 5-man, having like a Blink initiation kind of acts as a similar thing as to a tanky Viper in the front lines, but Viper just dominates the last hitting, which is not something DK kind of accounted for in this mid lane matchup.
And now the Blink on Songsheng, so the initiation levels up here for Newbie, and on that note, they also complete a BKB for Hao, something which DK do have ample answers for in Black Hole and Doom. Nonetheless, the items are coming out, and at this stage, it does seem like DK just want to go for pickoffs and farm the crap out of the Doom.
Yeah.
Not really a strong timing window for them to take 5v5 engagements.
No, I think, yeah, pickoffs all day long. Even with the BKB on Enigma completed, the team fight is just not going to... Batrider's going to start every single team fight with a Blink Lasso, so even if that Lasso is not an Enigma, and that means, hey, look, there's nothing to cancel Black Hole anymore, walk-in Black Holes is going to catch maybe 1 or 2 heroes. You're not going to win a fight off of that when you're already 4v5 because of Batrider, so... DK just, yeah, it's solo pickoffs with smokes is all they can really do, or just, I think this is what they're doing now is probably the best bet, is just farming as efficiently as possible, killing Ancients with the Eidolons, having other heroes in the jungle, but they can't even farm lanes because of the Batrider threat, so it's a really tricky situation for DK.
Well, Burning continues to farm, he works his way towards the Aghanim Scepter here, and DK still hold on to the tier 2s and the Dire side advantage, so despite losing their tier 1 mid and bottom, they have taken out the Newbie tier 1 mid, and they are a lineup that could sneak the Roche with the Eidolons, the Venge Wave of Terror. If they ever find an opening, like if they catch 3 or 4 Newbie heroes going top, get some vision of that, maybe they can go for a big trade their way. And, well, Newbie, they're ahead, but have not broken high ground or really threatened it at all yet, so can't get too comfortable.
Yeah, they can start taking all these tier 2 towers with the like Luna, BKB, Viper, Ag Scepter that are completed, but it's still like pushing tier 3s is not something their lineup does supernaturally. At least
they need a fat Luna to do it. That's where you need your Manta style, Butterfly. They don't have a Shadow Demon, so they need more farm for Hal than they normally would.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a while before they try and threaten the base.
Yeah, Mu does act as a nice little secondary carry here. Ag Scepter complete, you can start making towards a Manta style, Heart of Taras, whatever kind of high ground sieging items you want to go for. And it will be a 5-man mid, so they'll get at least a tier 2 tower, possibly even followed up with something like Roshan, which DK would just... DK can't really contest Roshan right now, so I think grabbing yourself an Aegis does give you the ability to try siege high ground using the Luna.
And with the Bat Rider with Blink Force, it's very tough for DK to even get near the pit or get wind that it's Roche is ongoing.
Do you know if DK have even seen the Blink Earthshaker?
He was hiding in the tree's top earlier. I'm not sure.
I love how he follows the Bat Rider in the Firefly. Like this just opens up spaces for Sancheng to hide in these trees too. Really little sneaky stuff.
Well, Xiaoweit's gone in. He looks for the lasso here, but he can't find it. Mushi will retreat himself out very quickly.
Nothing lost. Xiaowei had Firefly wearing off, so he's like, if Mushi messes up, I might get a lasso. If not, who cares? We're going to go back to farm regardless. So.
And they're now going to TPN Rubik bottom, and Ice does continue to get his farm on. He's almost got his BKB, so considering how poor the mid-game, or not even the mid-game, like that 8 to 15 minute mark went, DK have done a good job of just not taking fights and not dying as a result.
Yeah, but Zhao Weit's still just sticking to the formula, which is 5 men for a tower and then TP back to farm and push out the other 2 lanes. Because generally 5 men for that tower, your opponents are pushing out the other lanes, but it does give Newbie plenty of farm to be efficient with, and then they're going to group up as 5, probably go for another tower or Roshan, the next objective, and then they TP back and farm the lanes again. So rinse, repeat from Newbie.
As you say that, Banana gets out of there just in the nick of time. DK smoke bottom, but they're just late and the smoke wears off. They're unable to find the kill. Rubik dodging that. The good news is there's really no trade for Newbie. Tier 1's already been taken top lane, so DK are just getting this for free, and now Roshan control improves even more for DK. Though, as I say that got a gem, and that means the vision is about to disappear for DK.
Yeah. Interesting skill build. Well, not interesting, but MMY maxed the Vengeance Aura on the Vengeful Spirit, which is actually... I mean, if he's going to be dying, this actually does help deal with the push, the negative damage aura, so...
The other thing is that it helps you push more, because the HAL doesn't... Wave of Terror doesn't help you on tower, but the aura does.
The extra point or 2 in stun is not going to be a make or break when you go for a kill, really. At least not at this stage.
Yeah, I think with the way their early game developed, DK were like, you know what, we're not really going to be going for too many ganks, so let's just focus on our push, our Roshan, and our mid to late game.
Well, I'm going to just summon some Eidolons here in the jungle. They have got decent wards in the enemy jungle as well as around the Roshan pit to try and contest it, but taking a Roshan right now for DK is tricky. Like, even with the Vengeful Spirit Enigma, like, the other core heroes of theirs don't have good Roshan killing potential.
Yeah, and Newbie are not going to let them do it for free.
Yep.
With the Bat having Gem, Blink, and Force, you have a very hard time maintaining any Roche control. Like, this ward probably won't last more than another minute or so.
Yeah. The other worry is, like, DK are playing this farming game, but some of the heroes just don't really necessarily... like, well, like, 1 or 2 of them don't scale. Like, Razor as a core isn't the best scaling late-game hero if you're stalling. Puck as well. Like, Puck's... his big timing is his Blink Dagger kind of 5-man team fighting, but the fact they're forced to play this farm-oriented way with Puck and Razor on their team makes me really worry about DK. Like, I think it's their only option. It's still their best option, but it means there's going to be a lot on Ice as well as the Enigma with a Blink Black Hole to maybe win fights for DK. And Lamb does actually have enough money for his Blink Dagger now.
And DK are playing... they're playing keep away now.
Yeah.
TPing back to the base is Ice. While Newbie get aggressive, they'll drop an Observer Ward out of range of the normal placement for Observers and Sentries.
They're going for the fight here. I think DK may try catch Newbie by surprise and contest this top tier 2. It's already very low, though. No, they're going to maybe... I think sneaking Roshan's better if they can.
Even that's risky, though. If you look at Newbie's vision right now, they see a lot, and they don't see any DK heroes. So they're either in the base...
abandoning the top tier 2
or they're
tower.
in the Roche pit. And they're going for the pit.
They know.
Newbie are coming. Mu will lead the way.
Bashes?
Roche is quite healthy. This is not going down for free. Xiaoweit's in position. Momoya's going to try and start things off, but he's only got a level 1 swap, and... well, first the Viper Strike onto MMY. That's going to isolate the Venchi, then swaps, but it's not going to work out too well for him. They keep the Enigma out with an Echo Slam from Sungshung. He comes in for the dunk, and he unloads. They'll bring him down to Ice 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 dropping low. Moo at full HP. That's going to be 2 dead. Make it 3. Make it 4. Newbie crushed through DK.
Might be GG.
Forget about Roche. Just go mid.
I wouldn't be surprised to see DK calling GG. They're going to look at this and be like, well, we've just lost another big team fight. We're going to give up Roshan, and our lineup is not making any comebacks anytime soon, even with the team fight potential of a BKB Enigma Black Hole. So Newbie are just getting so far ahead. It's a 7 to 8k gold lead now, and Roshan being taken. So after this, will be much more. They
almost. I feel like Mushi has to try and steal the Sages, but it's super risky, and if he dies here, that's probably just wrecked. So. Yeah. They'll let it go, and they'll give it to Hao, I imagine, here. Yeah, now picks up another 4k gold on the back of that fight. He's got the completed Manta if he wants it, or a decent chunk of the Butterfly. Moo up to 2.5k, can build towards a BKB. If he wants to skip it, could just go straight Heart. And, yeah, the whole team's going to be rich at this point, I imagine. And we're looking at a lot of new item pickups. Earthshaker up to 1800 gold. Newbie are firmly in control of game number 1.
They're just playing flawlessly right now. I mean, it's not. I mean, you talk about the farm on someone like Hao, but he's also got level 16. Level 3 Eclipse is just. There's no team fights being won by DK. Like, you've got to doom him. You want to doom the Batrider before he lassos. There's an Earthshaker who's going to be blinking in with level 2 Echo Slam now, so a lot more damage potential from your Earthshaker.
Songsheng, I got to give him huge props for that fight because he really sealed the deal. I think they take it anyway just from item advantage, but got the fissure on like 3 heroes, blinks in, Echo Slams the Enigma, and Enigma was pretty much dead before he even got to do a thing.
He couldn't even, I mean, he could have used his BKB, but it was already on like 200 HP, so he was dead regardless. The fight was lost. It would have been a wasted BKB.
Yeah, a lot of that just goes back to having the Batrider as well, getting good vision of the fights as soon as they start off, forcing DK into a dangerous position where they're sneaking a Roche, but didn't have many wards up. Newbie saw almost the entire map, but DK, they see pretty much nothing. You look at their vision right now, they have 0 wards out on the map.
Wards aside, I think they're going to get crushed in some of these fights too, but they're just like, let's take a risk. They thought Newbie were going to commit to the tier 2 top tower so they could sneak Roshan, and then they realized, oh wait, they're not doing it. We're probably stuck. But once they've gone into the Roshan pit, they can't really escape. There's a Blink 4-staff Batrider, he can Firefly for flying vision. You've already committed, you're already just completely screwed at that point. So, I mean, it was a risk from DK, and I think it's the kind of risk they need to be making at this point, but it didn't pay off.
Newbie back off to farm a bit. They will work towards the Butterfly and the Luna. That's coming in about 1,000 gold. Shao 8, BKB on the way. Not too far from that. And Banana is actually going for an Ags, it looks like. Picks up the Point Booster.
I love it.
A lot of good Ags ults this game. You've got the Doom Ags ult. You do have to be running next to them, which is not ideal. But
Black
Enigma's fantastic. Yeah. Get that Puck Aghanims ultimate.
Swap?
Yeah. Yeah, Swap's probably the best one, honestly, out of all of the above.
Any of these, I mean, all of these ultis have Ags upgrades, so...
Some are, Razor ult sounds nice, but very, again, an ult where you have to be in the middle of the fight. But,
or actually next to a tower to be pushing a tower. I'm a bit dubious about the Razor Ags ultimate on Rubik, but...
I love the swap idea, though, because he's already got a 4-staff, so you just swap somebody in and then 4-staff yourself out and leave your opponents to die.
Yeah. Well.
We'll see if he actually gets to finish it. They may just end the game before it's even needed.
And MMY just kind of like swapped in that last fight. So Swap was there for the stealing, although I like what MMY was doing. Is like he knew they were going to get completely screwed that fight, so he tried to swap himself in to die first and apply Vengeance Aura, I imagine. So he was like, let's try and help out my teammates. I'll distract the enemy while giving them negative damage.
And just confuse them. Like swap yourself in. Yeah. It's like, wait, what the hell is this Vengeance doing? Maybe they have a plan, but...
No, there was no plan.
Just, there was only death.
There was I guess a plan in the sense that he was purposely feeding, but it was a smart swap. Not to say that the end result was any good for DK, but it was better than not trying to do anything. Like just standing there and dying was not going to do any better.
Some feeds are stupid, but that was a smart feed.
Yeah, it was a smart team fight, completely lost by DK, I guess.
They lost that team fight in the smartest way possible. I agree. Well, Newbie take over the jungle now.
Full staff as well, and
they're all getting their items out. They've got triple force, double blink, butterfly to boot, and they'll just go for the high ground here. Actually, Moo is sitting on 4.3k gold. I would like to see him buy some components of that heart, most likely, but for now, they don't feel they need it. They'll put Hao in the front lines, Moo's there as well, and the rest sit back. They'll bide their time. They started off with some nukes on Ice Ice Ice, so they want to commit. They do. They go for Momoya. No broken lasso for you. They'll bring him down quickly, and now Well, they do lose their Aegis here, but Luna's coming back with a fresh lease on life.
And
She's got
BKB.
BKB still. She's got Eclipse. She gets off the BKB in time. There's no Doom available. It was already popped earlier, and they've stolen it as well. Can they get the stolen black hole off? Banana looking for the opening. Hasn't found it just yet. They don't even need it. It's Hellfire raining down from the sky as the Eclipse does its work.
The Manor Hole
Banana
coming
celebrates with the completely airballed stolen black hole.
I don't even think he was aiming for anyone. Lamb going to be brought down by the Viper, and this is it. Game 1 going to be going the way of Newbie. There's no holding this. Luna's a bit low, so can't really push high ground. Maybe DK push him back now, but I don't see them pushing them back again.
House too tanky. Yeah. He throws out a Lucid Beam. The Glaives start bouncing. They're going to chop up Momoya. They look to bring down the Luna as well. Can't quite do it. And then, well, in the end, Ice will get the kill. Everybody's low. Maybe they have overstayed their welcome.
Okay.
It's been some buybacks here from DK, but Moose stands strong. They club him down with the Earthshaker. Sangcheng, celebratory fissure up onto the cliff. Blinks up, and now may consider a retreat.
Well, they hold this fight, but it's...
Newbie are like, wait, you're not GGing out after that?
Yeah,
I feel like that was the reaction.
I think that was like Sancheng just running forward, not even trying to hit a black hole, and they were all like red HP mechas on cooldown, but like, yeah, they're calling GG, right? Like, what's going on? They haven't called GG. Oh, I guess we lose 1 or 2, but like they lost 1 or 2 heroes, but they also killed a couple more, so...
Well, and now they pick up some items. Casual, completed Manta style picked up by Moo. An Ogre Club going the way of Banana. So is Aghanim Scepter that seemed like the game might end in advance. Well, he's only 1,500 gold off from that. And he's level 13. He's going to have the level 3 upgraded ultimate.
He's still got Black Hole for the next fight. It's a great thing. No Blink Dagger to work with it, but...
Yeah, he'll have like a solid 50 seconds or so to work with.
I imagine he just holds on to that, just for style points more than anything, so...
Well, DK will soldier on, but this is one of those don't put your emotions into this game because your chances of winning are very, very slim kind of moments.
Yeah, there's just so little late game potential here. They had to use buybacks that fight. Burning still no sign of an Aghanim Scepter, and even the Aghanim Scepter is not going to do a whole lot this game. The upgrade is more for just killing buildings more than anything, and DK are not pushing right now. So Newbie going to go once again towards the top lane, this time without Aegis, and I think they realize, hey, last time we're going to be cocky. This time there's actually Black Hole. They know the exact timing on Black Hole because Rubik stole it as well. At least, like, give or take 5 or 10 seconds, so...
And I really feel like they're just not that worried about the Black Hole. Like, some of these heroes, maybe if a hero gets caught before they pop BKB, but if Hal gets off his BKB, he's probably not dying. If they doom him, they throw too much at him, then Viper just gets out of control in the fight. It's a dual core and a solid one with the Manta now on Moo. He's starting to hit pretty hard. So they'll go for the siege again.
We may need to see some more MMY swap-ins to stop this push, I feel.
Yeah, and in the end, they are missing the Doom buyback for this fight. So if Doom dies without getting off his combo, they won't have him for round 2. They'll work on the range backs. They'll play it safe here for Newbie, and the Glaives come a bouncing, and they've reeled in Ice, but an insta-swap from MMY keeps them safe. Nicely done.
Feeds.
They still lose the Venge, though. Now they're fighting without her. They do have the negative aura. Damage are applied, and Ice marches in, and then Black Hole will follow it up. Maybe it's good enough from Lanham, but Banana looking to turn this one around. No, he's actually taken level death. He went for the Doom Steal. It doesn't even matter, though. Even with a perfect Black Hole, they're still standing strong against this. Ice is going to be the next one down. They end up living on the bat. Shao 8 down to 50 HP. Mushi scattering to the winds and into the base. Right through the front door go Newbie. This will be the first lane of Rack.
I mean, DK showing that they are the best high ground defenders out there, but they're so far behind that it doesn't even matter at this point, but it was still an admirable effort from everyone. MMY with the insta-swap. He's going to be brought down now, unfortunately. The negative damage or coming out again, and there's your big Sancheng Echo Slam catching out another here. It's GG finally, but DK... I mean, they showed off a little bit with their high ground defense, but it just wasn't enough.
Well, it was a noble effort, but Newbie they got too much momentum in the 8 to 15 minute mark.
Yes.
They had multiple successful ganks. Batrider found his Blink Dagger, and it looked like it might actually go DK's way for a moment there. When the Luna gank bottom failed, they ended up giving up first blood and a double kill to Mushi. But you just go back to the Viper pick, and it's one of those games where you don't often see Viper being the one hero that turns a game, but this was a game where the Viper picked it really opened up the map for them.
Yeah, and right after that failed Luna gank, Newbie probably just looked at it and said, like, look, we don't need to get kills. They 5-manned the bottom tier 1 tower, and then they defended the DK 5-man top. And that was really, to me, that was the turning point. When Newbie take the tier 1 safe lane tower and defend their offlane tower, they get the denial, they also get a kill on the Enigma. That really just changed the tempo entirely into their favor in what looked like a 50-50 game.
Well, gods, do you still believe in DK, or is this a new reign of terror for Newbie.
Newbie's looking too strong right now. I think DK should at least take 1 or 2 games of the series, but I think Newbie's showing that they're definitely the favorites in this series.
Yeah, I would have said they're slight favorites. It can go either way, but, well, it was a 51-49, so people gave Newbie the tiniest advantage. We'll see, guys. It's a best of 5. You're watching the CDEC New Star Challenge. I'm LD. He's Gods. We will be right back for Game 2 in this best of 5. Stay with us.